And again, you can get through incompatibility. You can communicate through it. It's just we are not given the tools as autists to understand how. And so interestingly enough, a lot of the ways that autists communicate with each other is us saying, I just had this experience. What the heck happened? And the other one's like, oh, maybe it was this that happened to me the other day. We're trying to figure out how the holistic individual arrived at their next response or their reaction, because we don't work that way. We're trying to understand them so we can survive and thrive in society. It's weird how often we're just trying to understand. If you're not taught, how can you know? Incompatibility is not a 100% stop unless you do not have the tools to break your way through it and get anything done. Things that are missing when I'm interacting with other autists are that alienation and that incompatibility. Another thing that tends to be missing is constant misunderstanding. And I gave that example while I was talking for 5,000 hours on someone saying I'm done talking about it and not meaning it versus us saying I'm done talking about it and meaning it. That pretty much eliminates all the stuff that I feel is missing. Things that we gain camaraderie, which I know will sound insane for those of us who have lived, the life and the experience. I can't believe it's another loop-de-loop. I think I've just decided I'm going to leave this in so you can see how insane it is for me to recording today. I'm going to throw all of these things together. Wow, loop-de-loop. I'm going to throw all these things together because they're going to end up being one conversational hit. Camaraderie, bonding, and feeling understood. I wrote as 3 different things, and I don't see how to separate them because it's so rare for us to feel truly understood in conversation or any kind of relationship. Even in romantic relationships, we don't always have that Audi to Audi bonding capability because we're not always interacting at any points in our lives with other Audis. I think a lot of us have it where because it does seem to, the genetic factor is strong, and people apparently are studying this also. We seem to constantly be in families where there's another autist who's undiagnosed or unself-recognized, and whatever kind of diagnosis, professional or self-diagnosed, we seem to have those people who aren't diagnosed. And so we can relate to them. Maybe we can't sit around and talk about the experience of being autistic because maybe they don't know yet, or maybe they don't want to talk about it. But we can just have a conversation, and we can have what we said be understood, and we can hear things and know that it's meant in a way that's reasonably just easy for us to understand, so we can get that experience. And thank God some of us can have that experience because it's the only thing some of us are getting. But there's something about being able to find someone where you're compatible in a friendly way, and maybe you can talk about some other things. Maybe you can share some stuff that goes on in some personal stuff that maybe is too touchy to talk about with family. The first time I was online and just saw autists interacting with autists, my mind, I couldn't process it. And I don't even know how to explain it now. My mind went blank and I shut it down. I shut the app down. I got so filled up with things I couldn't process. 36 years of not relating, not feeling understood. My thoughts are cray-cray. I shut the app down and I blanked out on the situation and didn't think about it for at least days. I think it was weeks. I couldn't process it. It was a huge life-changing event. And I find that I'm able to bond in a it's not in the way where you want to cover your heart up because you're afraid of more arrow wounds, more pings and more birdshot and more hack and slash, because you're feeling alienated or your communication disorder is to blame. You get to open up your heart and feel safe. And I have gotten to open up my heart and feel safe. And that's what I want for us. This is why I'm talking about this thing. I don't know. I was going to say something about how it'll be received, but I 100% believe that it's here for the right person. I don't know how to explain what it's like to feel understood. All I know is that at this point where it's been 3 years of my life where someone could do that for me, where I can just meet people who just understand me. We can share about things. I've known people, honestly, the whole time frame. I've been able to speak with people about some stuff that's just considered taboo. My way of processing things mentally, my way of processing things physically, my way of, oh my gosh, I'm trying to figure out how to say, sometimes even there's this thing about having kind of a detrimental sense of humor, like maybe you, oh my gosh, loop-de-loop. I swear they're filming a tiny car kitty commercial, and the loop-de-loop is right outside where I'm filming. There's this thing about having this kind of detrimental sense of humor, the acerbic wit. Oh no, I've got an open wound and you lemoned it up and now it stings. Sometimes we say things that are not fully understood. Sometimes it seems brash. Sometimes it seems hateful. It really depends. People go and they pay their money to sit in a coliseum and listen to somebody, coliseum, anyway, and listen to coliseum. People will go pay their money to sit in a theater. That'll work, in a theater, and listen to people make jokes that will shock and horrify, where the rating on the program is mature and non-mature audiences must leave here, no admittance. But you do it in person for free. It's just available. I tried to knock this out of myself because as a child I would make sweeping remarks on tender subject matter, and it was considered, when you're female, on top of it all, people look at you like there's something horrendous, like you're about to do something terrible. And like I said, then they'll go do, like in my day, in childhood, they'll go do a pay-per-view, and you're not allowed to even be in the room while they're watching this stuff, because the stuff people are saying is that bad, that over the top, that into it. But I say it, once again, for free, and all of a sudden it's problematic. So I don't even share that side of my sense of humor, and I just about beat and drilled it out of myself at some point as part of my mask. And I'm actually kind of afraid to say, I don't know if I still even have my natural humor anymore. It's like, it's inspired by something. A situation will come up. I forgot to even say this during my intro, but the whole purpose of me talking about this is because while I'm talking about masking, this subject matter is about unmasking. And it seems that no matter how hard I unmask, I don't necessarily have my original sense of humor anymore. I don't know if I traumatized it out of me or if I grew out of it. I have no idea. But every now and then, yeah, I want to say something and it'll fall into dirty like blue humor. It's humor on blue. Or it's just 100%, about those top subjects in life, like political, sexual, religious, life and death. Definitely life and death, but not so much life. Stuff like that. And I just trained myself out of it. So now most of the time I might think these things and then drop them right out of my head, because I literally was traumatized by constantly being judged harshly or looked at like, I don't even know how to explain the look, because I don't want to say the words I tend to use. It's not a cursing thing. It's just I don't think these are words that I want to try and put on YouTube, because I don't think I want my video having to go through that. But basically, people will look at you as if you are about to do something, like they saw something on the news that was shocking to them, and now they're looking at people with a biting sense of humor as the next person who's about to do something. That's how they're looking at me. That's how they're looking at you, I should say, to depersonalize it, because it doesn't happen to me anymore, because I learned not to be who I am. So again, I've had the experience even speaking with autists, where some of us, because of the stuff we've gone through in life, sometimes it really triggers an extreme sense of humor, right? Because you got to do something to survive this mess. And so we will relate on that, where one or both of us can say something and it's like testing the waters. I'm just going to put this out there and see if it's accepted, and we just accept each other. So if you have that kind of sense of humor and it's horrifying to people, especially if you know it's horrifying to Autists in your life, this might be another place where you want to check out some autists with that type of sense of humor, because we will tend to identify ourselves by saying, ugh, my sense of humor is like this. I don't even want to tell you what I was just thinking, or yeah, I had this, or maybe they'll just say it outright. Some people will just say it outright anyway. But once again, chatting with one autist is chatting with one autist. So if you meet the one who doesn't have that sense of humor, feel it out. Find someone who presents themselves as having that similar, I'm going to keep calling it acerbic wit, that they still call it the rapier wit. Find somebody who knows how to give those jabs, and maybe you can bond on that level, because I personally know that's a thing where I was never able to bond with anybody under the mask. But then autist to autist communication, where no one thinks the other one is disordered, or at least where we both feel comfortable being whatever we think we are. I don't think it's disordered. Whatever they think, we both get to be safe. And I think that part of the bonding thing that comes along with it, just to make bonding its own subject, is that when we feel safe, we're so loving about it because it's such an incredible relief. And it's not creepy to say, I really appreciate this conversation and I'm so glad we met. However early on you have the feeling, because you just had a lack of it, or you had enough of a lack that finding it again, it still feels new and amazing and bright and scintillating and life-changing. So again, wish I'd put it at the beginning. I don't know, maybe I'll try to do another intro. Probably not. This is a video on autistic communication and how it can lead, in whatever tiny ways or even massive ones, to an amazing and incredible sensation of unmasking of the soul, of everything that you are. And once again, my heart aches for me not having had it. It aches for the people who have yet to have it. And I just want to present it as a possibility. Use your own judgment. Always be safe. And with that said, I want to present autistic to autistic conversation as a possibility to anyone who hasn't tried it yet and doesn't know what it can be like. Because you might have to meet a handful of autists to find the one who's got that sense of humor or whatever you're looking for. But it might be different meeting a handful or even two handfuls. I don't know why you'd need more than that, because for me, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm in manifesting mindset and I just keep saying what I want and need. I keep meeting people quickly, but even if it's 1, 2, or 3 handfuls, I can tell you from firsthand experience, it didn't take me the amount of time, not near the amount of time, to meet people with whom I'm compatible in all these different ways, with other autists and other ADHDers, that it took me to develop all of these sensations of shame and blame and alienation and feeling like I'm incompatible with the world by nature. Before I even knew it was an autistic thing, I just felt these things by nature. It took 36 years to drill that pain into me by finding no one with whom I was compatible, or almost no one, and never getting to form the relationships. When I think I found someone, people kept moving away. A lot, everybody, actually. But just the little bit of time that it took to meet so many people I can chat with on so many different issues in so many different ways, even if we don't want to continue chatting, it's just not the same as it is when you don't want to continue chatting because of the aforementioned things. So once again, autism is a communication disorder. There's a problem with your logic. Links below. I think that's everything I needed to say. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and ring the notification bell. I'm done now. That's about it. Bye now.